Hey guys, Average Character here with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion Showcase video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the worst champions on my account. It's part 2 of a 3-part kind of series, I guess if you want to call it, video that I'm doing. It's Ultan of the Shell. Ultan of the Shell, he's a Spirit Affinity, Dark Elves, Legendary Champion. This guy's trash. Everyone hates him. I hate him. He's really, really bad. But he's the tandem champion, the partner champion to Oella. And Oella, I just did a video on her. If you haven't watched it, she actually kind of really surprised me. I knew she was a good champion, but I was a little... I underestimated her capabilities inside the game. It was a fun video. I'm using her a lot more. So I decided to do both of them. I thought, well, why not just make it like we'll do them both individual, and then we'll do the third and final video where they're together to see how good they are separate and how good they are together. So let's real quick go over his skills. Under the skin, I would not recommend booking this guy. I wouldn't recommend building this guy unless he gets like a massive buff. I think he's already gotten a buff, but it did not work. He needs another one. He needs a very drastic buff to make him viable inside the game. So under the skin, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing drop defense for 2 turns. And if Oella is on the same team, ignores 50% of the target's resist. If they're under increased defense, each hit has an 80% chance of removing it. This effect cannot be resisted, so the second part just can't be resisted right off the bat. But then the first part, it can be resisted, and you need Oella on the same team to ignore half of their resist. But then the second part, you don't need accuracy at all. So right off the bat, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? The very simple and easy fix for this is you basically make it to where both of the abilities without Oella can be resisted, and you need accuracy to land them. And then if Oella is on the same team, neither one of these effects can be resisted. You just make it irresistible if they're on the same team, right? I mean, like, you're getting an irresistible remove increased defense even if she's not on the team, but then if she is on the team, the drop defense only ignores 50% of resistance. I think it's a trash ability. It's kind of weak. He's an attack-based champion. His multipliers are pretty weak. Or his ability doesn't hit very hard. I don't know what the exact multipliers are, but right off the bat, it's a pretty trash ability. Resurging Reversal, this is on a 4-turn cooldown. It can book down to a 3-turn cooldown. It's a full cleanse from himself, heals himself by 20% of his max HP, and then an additional 20% of their max HP for each debuff removed. Ooh, sorry. Oh, man. Sorry, I worked late last night. Then places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. It's proportional to this champion's attack and increases by 5% for each debuff removed. I will admit the shield can be very, very strong. It can be a very big shield. And this ability can hit very hard if he has a lot of debuffs on him. And then finally, attacks one enemy, ignores shield buffs, and damage increases by 20% for each debuff removed by this skill. Okay, so we have another problem here. I'm probably going to spend more time talking about his kit than I am going to actually play him inside the game. But we have a problem here. So if you know Oella, you know that she's bringing resistance in dungeon battles as her aura, and that she's also bringing increased resistance on her A3 turn meter fill. So you have issues here where he needs debuffs. He needs to get debuffs placed on him in order for this ability to hit really, really hard. But then his companion champion is kind of preventing him from getting debuffs with the increased resistance. So you can basically build this guy with no resistance, and then the ignore resistance doesn't really matter. But it kind of just goes into the whole idea, like basically the point I'm getting behind these 2 champions, or I'm trying to make rather, is that they don't work well together, and their kits are kind of like the opposite. I don't know if that's what they were going for. Like, he needs debuffs placed on him in order to scale up this attack. She's trying to prevent debuffs from getting placed on him It's just weird. I don't really like it. I think you probably just switch this, and you make it to where you could even do something like removes all buffs from this champion, right? So she buffs him up, and then he removes those buffs, and then gets a big ol' heal. He gets a big ol' shield, and he gets a huge hard single target ability. I would also add a couple more qualifiers in here, like ignore shield, strengthen, and block damage, or something like that. There are so many buffs that mitigate damage or neutralize damage entirely that just ignoring shield, I don't think cuts it anymore. The one thing I will say about this ability is that the shield that's proportional to his attack does scale up quite nicely, in my opinion. So yeah, just I don't know, not a lot going on here. So I've never pronounced this word before. I think it's somnolence spores. Somnolence spores. This is on a 5-turn cooldown. It can book down to a 4-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance of placing sleep for 1 turn and decrease speed for 2 turns. If Oella is on the same team, places a stun instead of the sleep and ignores 50% of the target's resistance. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% whenever a sleep or stun placed by this skill expires. If Oella is on the same team, grants this champion an extra turn. I don't know, like, so the stun and the decreased speed are nice. The grants an extra turn is nice, but it's kind of weird. Like, it would almost have been a little bit better if maybe this was like decrease defense instead, or a weaken instead, or something like that. And then, so you're getting like a stun and drop defense, or a sleep and drop defense, and then you can grant an extra turn and go into this hard-hitting A2 ability. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit much. The ability itself, I think, is fine. I don't think it hits very hard, but it's fine. And then granting an extra turn if Oella is on the same team, that is nice. I will admit that. But yeah, again, I don't think it hits super hard, especially in the arena. We'll go into the arena first. And then on here we have Metabolism has a 15% chance of decreasing the cooldown of one of this champion's skill by 1 turn. Every time they are healed by a continuous heal, the chance increases to 30% if Oella is on the same team. This passive is really nice. You can put him with like an Elva if you don't have Oella, but if you do have Oella, this becomes a very powerful passive, because you can just basically, you don't have to book this guy at all. You can build him in like Reflex or Merciless, and then put him with Oella, and he'll be getting these cooldowns back very, very quickly. He's got attack in all battles by 30%. I put him in Nature's Wrath, 3-star Nature's Wrath, obviously for... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. 4-star would be really nice for that 38% increased crit damage buff. Again, I wouldn't recommend building this guy, but if you do, I'd go Master Hexer to extend the drop speed, pick up a little bit of accuracy, because even if Oella is on the same team, you require accuracy to land the debuffs, which I think is silly. And then I went for like Cycle of Violence to... because he's not booked, decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn if the damage inflicted by a skill exceeds 30%. It's a 30% chance. And then, stuff like Methodical, and then Helm Smasher for some ignore defense as well. As far as the relic goes, I put him in Molten Deathbell. When he applies the stun or the sleep, increases his turn meter by 10%. And then I put him in 6-piece Merciless, 1-piece Pinpoint, 1-piece Pinpoint, and 1-piece Feral. Total stats, we're looking at 41,000 on the HP, 7,200 on the attack, 26 on the defense, 234 on the speed, 282 on the crit damage, and 237 on the accuracy. Oh, man, okay. Quite a mouthful. Let's take him... Let's just take him into the arena. I'm probably not going to show him off a ton. Let's put you here, take you out, and then, because he's bringing a sleep, let's just bring in, like, a Lydia. Where art thou, Lydia? And hopefully we go first. I don't have my 6-star, but yeah, okay, so here's a problem. The problem is the Heffrack is going to destroy us. because we don't have a buff strip. But we're going to lose this because I don't have anything to remove the stone skin. But let's just take in the A3. Yeah, see, look at that. 73,000. 73,000. Not great. So we can't even one-shot there with the A3 with... I don't think we had drop defense, but we did have weaken up. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. We'll just skip that one. Stone Skin, obviously he doesn't have any Stone Skin removal or ignore Stone Skin or anything like that. So if you don't have a buff stripper, you're going to struggle in Gold 5 Arena. Gold 4, whatever I am. Let's slow it down again. A3. So we do one-shot that time. 170, I think, is the highest I saw there. Again, like, it's just... Obviously, it's enough damage to do the job. But for a legendary attack-based damage dealer, I don't know, man. A legendary attack-based damage dealer, I just don't know. 52,000 there. Let's go in here. We can just A1, I guess. Deny the revive. Try to kill you, I guess. Okay. Everyone gets frozen. Not everyone. I don't know why I said everyone. All right, let's bring you. Nope. Okay, we're going to die. We lose that one again because we don't have the buff strip. So I guess we are going to have to run Odin. So we'll take you out. Odin just becomes like... If you don't have anything to remove the stone skin, it can be so obnoxious trying to fight these teams. I don't know what. Didn't I... Oh, I backed out. That's why. Okay, so we're going to lose that one again. So we need to go in here. I hate that they do that. Now you have to, like, take them out every time. This is more of like a, hey, if you don't have a buff removal, you suck. Okay, so now we can go in here. And again, boom. Not enough. 60,000 damage on the A3 with drop defense. We'll reset him. Boom. Try it again. There you go. 119,000 on that one. Steal the block damage. Get rid of the block damage. Nope, they resisted. Block damage is up, so we can't do anything. Not ideal. That's not good. Uh-oh. Look at that. So this is more of a stone skin showcase, huh? Like, hey, guys, here's how you win in Raid Shadow Legends. You just hope that you get lucky on the 50-50 for stone skin. Isn't that fun? Like, you just lose the 50-50. I'm keeping all these fights in because I'm a huge advocate for nerfing stone skin into the ground. I think stone skin, I'm an advocate for removing stone skin out of the game entirely. I think that if you can just throw your champions in stone skin and you don't have to worry about anything else, because it doesn't matter how bad you build your champions, it doesn't matter how good the other team builds their champions. If you just build your team in stone skin, you have a 50-50 chance of winning. It makes it total RNG. And I really, really, really don't like that. I'm really not a fan of that. So, but anyway, going back to this, I mean, again, look, like you're getting... Let's just test out the A2 here. Oh, Stone's the UDK. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, it's just so obnoxious, man. Stone Skin's mainly the reason why I don't try super hard. Look at that. 1,000 damage there. 15,000 once we strip the shield off. Yeah, Stone Skin's really the reason why I don't care much about trying an arena anymore. 204,000 damage there. So, again, like, the A2, even without, like... stripping a bunch of buffs away. It does hit moderately hard, 200,000. It's not bad. But look how, 50,000, so 100,000 on the A1 potentially. He weak hit there. Not a great overall, just not a great showcase for Arena for me in general. Mainly just because of Stone Skin. I mean, if we had gotten strips more, we would have won probably most of those fights, but we didn't. Yeah, 111,000. And I've got him with 7,200 attack, quite a lot of crit damage. Ignore defense. I mean, it's not like this is a bad build. This is a really powerful build. So let's just go in. We've got drop defense, or no, we just have weaken. And it weak hits anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's kind of another problem with him, right? Is that affinity is a huge problem. You go up against a lot of magic affinity champions, and the result of that is that Ultan's, you're going to notice him weak hitting a lot. He does one-shot everyone there, but again, it's just kind of weak, right? 120,000. Like, I feel like we're kind of barely scraping. Barely scraping by is what I meant to say. If I could finish my sentences. Sorry about that. And then, look, you get kind of just unlucky with the strip. So now he's going to come in, lock everybody out, and he's going to totally control the fight now. I won't be able to get a... He's going to totally control the fight. Yep, fear. Everyone's back. Increase attack. And because we're too weak, right? Because we weren't strong enough to kill everybody in one blow with that AoE, you lose the fight. If it had just been Fabian there, it would have been fine if we had one-shotted everybody else. But yeah, I mean, it's rough, man. It's rough. He needs damage multipliers. He needs reworks on some of his abilities. Let's slow it down and see what he can do. Drop defense weaken. Stage 23 of the dragon. Yeah, I saw 200 there. And sleep, it's a weak PvE debuff. Everyone's going to be awake, so it doesn't really matter. 90,000. So about 180,000 on the A1. Yep. 49,000 there. So I do want to go to the boss because the boss is where you can get more debuffs placed. So we'll kind of test the A2 damage when we get there. 238,000. I mean, like, if you get drop defense and weaken, and don't forget that Lydia's in what's it called? She's destroying their defense as well, so you're getting even more drop defense basically. And the fact that he's still not hitting super hard, and I've got him in like some of my best gear. Okay, so let's go in. We're actually going to lead in, drop defense and weaken, increase attack. We're going to get a pretty good shield here. 273,000. A really good shield, actually, coming out of that. So otherwise, we might get one-shotted because he's not very tanky. Let's go in here. Yeah, about 170,000 there. And this is slow, but I really want to try to... Ran through the shield too quick. Lasting Gifts might be a good mastery for him as well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, to extend the shield on himself. Make it a 3-turn. 180. We'll just risk it. We've got Strengthen, right? I just need him to place, like, even one debuff would be fine. Okay, there you go. You got 3 debuffs now. 3 debuffs. So we're going to go in. We're going to get a 20, 40, 60, 80% heal. And then we're going to get a shield with an extra 15% increase to the shield. And then we're going to get a 20, 40, 60% damage increase. He's got half health. He's going to go in and do 415,000 damage. So, not that impressive. I mean, we did 200,000 on the A1, right? You're shrugging off. I mean, it's a nice heal, it's a nice shield. But as far as the damage goes, it's just like, it's not bad, but it's a single target, right? It's a single target. So, I don't know. 322. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's trash. I think he's really, really bad. I don't know. I've got him in some of my best, like, merciless gear. You know, he's got crit damage with double attack. He's got triple attack here. I guess we could try to enchant this up a little bit more. Trip attack. You know, more attack, 20% attack here, more 18% attack. Like, I've got him in pretty solid gear, I think. And yeah, even with all that, he's hitting, like, I've seen epics in not as good gear hit harder than he does in the arena and in dungeons. So this guy needs a massive rework. Again, I think even something as simple as, like, you know, it's a trade-off, like increase the multiplier a little bit and then change this from it strips all of his buffs away. So it strips his buffs away and then everything else is the same, but instead of being based on debuffs, it's based on buffs instead. You pair him with the Noella, who's got she's got increased resistance and she's got continuous heals in her kit. Pair him with some other, you know, buffers, and, you know, you turn this into a really, really, really powerful ability. Buff the multipliers on this a little bit and change it to where if Oella is on the same team, everything becomes irresistible. I think a couple small changes would put him in the right direction. I still don't think it would make him like meta, but it would definitely make him more viable as just a nuker if you're unfortunate enough to pull him. So I'm going to end the video there, guys. I've talked enough about him. He's trash. Don't build him. Come back for part 3. We're going to pair him with Oella, and we're going to try him out basically in all the same areas, and we'll see if he's any better with Oella on the same team. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for dropping by the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.